Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger and welcome to a game that is not M16A3 Simulator. I think a lot of you like to refer to it as M16A3 Simulator because that's what it feels like, but it's still not quite as bad, or quite as good, depending on how you look at it, as Quickscoping Simulator. For those of you that are not familiar, I'll just leave you guys a bonus clip at the end of the video. I think that just makes things easier for everybody. I can't exactly describe it in a way that sounds sane, like if I were to actually tell you, hey man, what's Quickscoping Simulator like? Well, it's kind of like me wanting to relive a recent seizure that I had. Or, gee, it's kind of like having that epileptic attack a second time voluntarily. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but if you watch the bonus clip, it will make total sense for exactly what Quickscoping Simulator is. And I know it's not the most constructive thing in the world to be looking in the past instead of looking towards the future, but at the same time, I am interested to see exactly what you guys thought about the transition from Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4. And I know the hype around Battlefield 4 right now is the new DLC of Dragon's Teeth that is soon to come out that is just straight up Riot Shields and Desert Eagles in the same DLC? That just makes it in a game of the year all year every year. I don't even care what happens, Badger. I've already submitted my ballot. This is the best game ever made. And I think just those two pieces of equipment is going to be an incentive for a lot of people to get that DLC, but I just wanted to look at some of the features of Battlefield 3 and see what went right and what went wrong in the transition to Battlefield 4. Now, the first thing I want to say is I might have a little bit of a biased opinion because, you know, one of those games that you go back to, and even if it's not the best game in the world, it's just, there's such a freshness about it because you haven't played it in so long and you're not frustrated with it because you're playing it every day. I think that there might be a little bit of influence on me, so just take all of my opinions with a grain of salt. So I had a tremendous amount of fun today playing Battlefield 3, and I think it's just because I turned it into a Gustav/RPG fest the entire time, and I felt like crushing everybody and making it rain. But at the same time, there is such a difference between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 in the general gameplay mechanics, and I just found Battlefield 3 to be so enjoyable. Maybe yet again, just because it's a change of pace, just because it's something different from Battlefield 4. That could be the reason why I was enjoying it so much, but crushing with the double kill, dog! That double dough! It's just something that is so outrageously fun. The RPG acts like an actual RPG. I think that's one thing that frustrates me about modern first-person shooters. You're like, I know that you don't want to make it perfectly realistic, that's kind of silly, but at the same time, this RPG is designed to not only penetrate a tank, but explode from the inside. So, you mean to tell me if I just hit it 2 to 3 feet to the left of some guy, I'm not gonna kill him? Is that really what you're telling me? Did I only do 18 damage in that particular case? Like, come on now, that's just silly. And I mean, the double kills keep flowing here just because it's kind of a not good. I don't know if I can quite call it a choke point because you can still have other areas to get out of this particular position. But I kind of just sat around these sandbags with this dude over here and decided to crush anything that I possibly could. I was successful the first few times. It didn't really work after that. But that is one feature that I definitely do like about Battlefield 3 over Battlefield 4. The RPG just seems much more effective. Now, I'm not condoning that all of Battlefield should just make clones of the Gustav from Bad Company 2 over and over and over again. I can't necessarily condone that, but I can say that the RPG is much more effective in Battlefield 3. Maybe it's just because of the interaction with the environment, because in Battlefield 3 it seems like there's so much more to break down, to crush people, and just to change the obstacles of the general environment. It's more so in the Bad Company 2 direction than in Battlefield 4. I know a lot of Battlefield 4 is not necessarily built around destruction, especially on some of the larger maps, but the RPG is definitely something that I had a lot of fun with today. Now, number 2, everything seems deadlier. Now, I'm not sure if this is like a whole, and I'm not going to open up that whole can of worms, because I know a lot of you are just going to jump right on it. As soon as I talk about any kind of gunplay, you're immediately just going to go, DICE fix the game, netcode, tick rate, meow, meow, meow. And obviously some things never change. Some things never change. Like some supports will still never give you ammo no matter how many times you do some kind of worm dance in front of their face. So just because Battlefield 4 is out and you think that everybody has changed and so many things have changed, people still don't give you ammo in Battlefield 3 when you ask for it. So some things change, some things stay the same. It's just outrageously silly how many supports in this game still don't give out ammo. It's rather laughable. But yet again, I wanted to hit on the point is that all of these weapons seem much deadlier than they do in Battlefield 4. I think a lot of this might have to do something with a hipfire or the general accuracy of the weapons. Obviously, you don't have so many variables. When I think about Battlefield 4, I think about so many different variables on your weapon. So whether that's the grip or the the barrel attachment and the barrel modification, there's so many different combinations that can change. Okay, your recoil, your spread pattern, your hip fire, blah, blah, blah. Just because it's much simpler in terms of the attachments that you can place on in Battlefield 3, it makes things a little bit more simpler, or a little bit simpler, but I would still say that this gunplay is still very, very fun. It's very fun. It's not, I don't want to say netcode, I still don't want to say netcode, but the hip fire on most weapons in this game just seems extremely tight, which is something that I definitely got used to very quickly, and I did enjoy quite a bit. One other thing that I definitely did want to say was that it's a little odd to be going back, but at the same time, some things are just, I can't stand. Like, for example, some of you are probably going to disagree with me on this, and I still feel as if I could not do the same thing in Battlefield 4. I don't know if I could get like a suppressed carbine or a suppressed carbine in Battlefield 4 and snipe somebody across, not quite across the map, but from that distance away. I don't think I can quite do that in Battlefield 4. The one thing I wanted to say is that the medic class still is pretty outrageous in Battlefield 3. Alright, let's not lie here. It's still pretty outrageous how you can bring somebody from 0 to 100 instantly from that specific range with a set of paddles. And I know that can be a little bit different because I think personally I didn't. Why are you hiding in the corner, Carl? What are you Jamal, please. Jamal, please. But one thing that I did notice is that I still am sort of torn on the whole paddle issue. And this is something that I wanted to ask you guys as well. Is, do you guys really like the whole, in Battlefield 4, where you need to get super saucy and it looks like your two paddles are not necessarily paddles, they're just like two slices of bread and you got peanut butter on one side and jelly on the other, and you're trying to make like a perfect smear and like a perfect proportional distribution of jelly and peanut butter as you're smearing your two pieces of bread together, like you're smearing your paddles together to get to a 100-point revive? I'm still sort of torn. I'm not sure if I like the little tap in Battlefield 3, which instantly brings you to 100 health. You can get up and start killing everybody again. Or if the whole sauciness technique where you need to rub your paddles together for like a solid 5 seconds. And I mean, depending on if you have the medic perk or not, if that's still a better system. But I think we can all agree that in Battlefield 4, the whole getting revived with 20 health, that's outrageously annoying. Because you're one bullet, or inherently one bullet away from death, and you're probably going to die instantly anyways. I still am torn between the medic / assault class of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. I'm interested to see what you guys say, but I had a lot of fun playing this game. I'm going to be playing it a lot on stream this week just because I've got a little bit of a time gap after graduation and what I'm moving on to next. But if you guys want to join the live stream, I will leave a link down in the description. But other than that, I'm interested to hear your comments on Battlefield 3 versus Battlefield 4. But I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und Shader.
Oh my God! Oh my!
Smoke weed every day.
Oh my God! Oh.
Smoke weed every day.
What?